The Tangent 8 podcast is aimed at a mature audience. It contains themes that are not appropriate for all listeners. It's important to note that we are not experts. We routinely have no idea what we're talking about and are just three idiots sitting around a table. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to the Tangent 8 podcast. I'm Seth, and as always with me are Swoosh and John Doe.
Hello!
Hello.
And first up, we don't have to do anything depressing. As far as I'm aware, there weren't any layoffs this week, which is really good to hear.
Just to spite us, someone's going to fire a bunch of people tomorrow.
I feel like, come on, my desk's made of wood. But we get to laugh at Musk first off this time.
Woo!
Well, sort of Musk. So, for people who don't know, there's a thing in the States called a PAC. Essentially, they're groups that get to campaign in favor of politicians, but aren't associated with them. It's basically a way to get around donation limits and stuff like that.
It's kind of dodgy.
Yeah. But like the politician theoretically can't control them. So,
Yeah.
You know, they could say they're for you and then run a bunch of ads that aren't.
Fair.
Yeah,
But
they're not going to, because they're going to want another paycheck later.
Yeah, I know. So, one of them's backed by Elon Musk. And, yeah, that one's getting investigated for potential voter tampering.
Which is fucking hilarious. Horrible, but hilarious.
So basically what they did is they set up a website at which you can go onto and check whether or not you're registered to vote.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. Easy access to that sort of stuff. Something, because a lot of people don't in the state. Look, we live in Australia where you're registered to vote at 18. Like, that's it.
If they find out you somehow dodged that, they come for you.
Yes, they send the old woman with the fine paperwork.
Yes, and several $1,000s in fines.
Yeah.
Beware Ethel, she brings the fines.
Yeah.
And you miss out on democracy sausage, so...
Exactly, you have to vote to get democracy sausages.
Well, that depends. Like, it all depends whether you go to one that even sells them. A lot of the voting places
Which is a
these days don't
disgraceful.
even do
If
it.
they don't have democracy sausage, don't vote there.
I go to the town hall in Brisbane because they have like the bratwurst guy, which is kind of funny. The democracy sausage is a German sausage. It's like irony, but yeah.
Point is, though, in the States, you actually have to sign up to vote. So they created a website where you can check that, and it actually connects to the legitimate database to check that stuff because it's freely available information. So it is actually telling the truth.
Yeah.
Now, it would tell you if you are registered to vote, and if you're not, send you to the page to actually register to vote.
Yeah.
But then they found out that in a number of swing states, this website would then, instead, if you weren't registered to vote, would then ask you a lot of questions, a lot of personal information, where you live, name, second name, last name, all that sort of stuff. Kind of the sort of information you'd hand over to, register to vote.
Oh no.
Except it wasn't doing that, it was just collecting the information, and once you'd finished, it was just like, cool, thank you.
Which is fucked up in so many ways. Like,
Fucking
A, why do you need this information if you're not enrolling me to vote? 2, why are you pretending to enroll me to vote? It's just like, why? Why you do this? What do you need this for, man?
Well, I'm sure they'll say that they didn't pretend to make it so you look like that, because it doesn't register you to vote. But any reasonable person would be like, you handed over a crudload of personal information. Surely this was registering to vote, right?
And the fact that if it's only happening in swing states as well, that's kind of fucky, man. Like,
That means they know what they're doing,
Exactly.
not just, we made a shitty website.
this is a targeted thing. It's like, oh, we want to know more about you because you're in a swing state and could influence the thing that we want to avoid. It's like, guys, come on. Don't be that shady in public. Come on. Put it away.
So, currently at this point, only Michigan has pulled the trigger on actually bringing legal investigation to it, although a number of other states are not okay with what's happened and maybe soon to follow. But currently, only Michigan's pulled the trigger.
Michigan's basically opening the floodgate. So once one of them starts, another joins in, then another, and then the rule of the mob kicks in and they all pile on.
Yeah. But,
Hopefully.
I know here in Australia, where I moved to, I was curious where I was actually enrolled to vote. I wasn't certain it was my hometown or anywhere else I'd lived in. So there's a government website you can go to see where you're enrolled to vote.
Yeah.
Like, why is there not an actual state-run website? Why is it left to third fucking parties?
Oh no, there is a state run for the American.
Then why would you go to any other fucking site?
Because
that's
the
just
government
asking you to give away your information.
Difficult. Yeah, no, the government makes everything difficult though. So you want to learn this thing? Jump through hoops, monkey. Dance!
Probably because if I had to guess, at least for the state's setup, because things like PACs and super PACs spend so much money on advertising, they probably advertised their own site to check it instead of whatever the government one was.
Yeah.
So someone could be walking past an ad board, and instead of going, oh, I should go to the government website and check it out, they'll see whatever that address is and be like, I should look that up and check if I'm registered to vote.
Yeah. Which
sort of out of sight, out of mind for the government side.
People like the path of least resistance. If it's easy to do, we'll do it. We're very simple creatures.
Just everything about it just feels so scummy.
Oh, it does, right? Fuck. Like, there's no good way to swing this, like, at all.
Pretty much everything to do with US politics makes you want to have a shower afterwards. Like, I want to get it off me.
Hey, we're not saying we're
democracy and freedom.
And we're not saying we're great at it. Look at our fucking parties at the moment. The Greens have a very good chance of getting in, just the fact they're not Labour or Liberal. But that's how fucked we are currently. But it's just...
Are we allowed to have a different party?
Yes, because we aren't American.
Well, they all allow it. I don't believe the United States does runoff voting, though.
Yeah, no, they don't. You have to vote for who you're voting for, and if they lose, they lose.
Which is where Australia at least does better, because we at least do runoff voting, so you can vote for a third-party preference, and if it doesn't get in, I'll just make my second vote whatever of the big two I want.
It doesn't get automatically allocated to the scummiest people in the world.
So, that's better. It's not the best voting system, there's so fucking many, but runoff voting's better than first past the post. Most
definitely. But, oh, God. But I agree, it does make you want to shower afterwards. It's just greasy and horrible.
Oh, yeah. There's nothing about the way they're set up. I can't understand, outside of the fact that the people at the top, of course, don't want it to change.
Oh.
No.
Why the fuck America keeps running it this way.
It's why the housing market will never change for the better.
Oh, not unless it crashes.
The ones at the top do not want it to.
And they're keeping that bubble afloat as long as they can.
That fucking oath.
Trying to pop, but they're just encasing it. No, you'll be fine. Continue to grow.
Problem is, when it does pop, it's gonna be so bad.
It's gonna be
so
horrible.
bad.
But it needs to at this point. There are certain...
Might be the only time I buy a house.
Oh, there are certain cities in Australia that are unlivable. Not because of their infrastructure, but because it's just... You can't afford to. Look at Sydney or Melbourne. They are very expensive places to live.
Pretty much any capital city that... Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane is getting fucking close to it. Canberra isn't far off.
Rough.
The issue is as well that even country towns you can't really live in to the same level you used to be able to. A, you're restricted to only ever buying at Coles and Woolies, who are going to gouge you for shit. But they're also charging city rents now because people are working from home. So they see it as a win. We can charge them more because it's the city folk.
My hometown is 6.5 hours from Sydney, and it's quite common to see $600 a week rent there.
Oh,
it's just that there's work in the area, so they will gouge for everything they fucking can.
My home up the coast, they are situated between a bunch of mines. So for the longest time, they have gouged people for mining prices, essentially, because miners come in and flaunt money. It's we'll take that. But anyone who lived near, in the actual area, suffered. There were people living in their cars because they couldn't afford the $800 a week rent for basically a crack house. It's yeah, no, this is bad. And that was a good, 15 years back. God help it now.
And given the way that the mines guarantee rent to people, because a guy I knew actually bought a house at one of those mining towns, specifically because the mines were yeah, cool, we'll pay you I think it was $550 a week.
Yeah.
Irrespective if there's someone in there.
Pretty much.
We just want to have it available to put anyone we want in there when we want to put them in there.
But you more or less buy a place in those towns and rent it straight back to a mine.
Yeah, so the rent will be even worse in those areas, because anytime a half-decent house appears, some rando in a completely different area rents it and then buys it and then rents it to the mine.
Yeah.
Well, in my hometown, there's a whole heap of places. So there's a lot of work there. There's the company that owns Steggles, Bayada, has one of their main factories there. So they have a lot of chicken sheds. There's a lot of winery. There's a lot of fruit. There's a lot of work in the area. If anyone wants to find work, you'll find work there. But it means that the employment agencies that are there don't employ people like local people. They go around town, any rundown shack that looks remotely livable, they go to the whoever owns it. It says, we're going to pay you $500-$600 a week, and we'll manage your property. And then they go overseas and find unskilled labor and bring them back to catch chickens. And they throw 6-7 in a bedroom and just fill them up. The landlord gives zero fucks because it's a rundown shack that they would have got nothing for, and now they're getting $600 a week for. And it completely, like, my hometown it used to be like shops you could go down and do everything, and now every week there's a shop closing. Yeah. You can't go to the local pub because it is getting too violent. And it's just completely changed the demographic of the town. Like, I'm all for people coming and having a go, but this is too much at once, and it's killing country towns.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Brisbane's going to get real screwed in a couple of years when the Olympics happens.
Oh, I'm not looking forward to that. I
kind of want to, like, bank a bunch of leave between now and then when the Olympics is on, it's like, I'm taking, like, 3 weeks off.
Yeah, pretty much. Just disappear for a while. Because, like, I live close enough to the city that this is going to suck when the Olympics appears. Like, they're ripping down and rebuilding the Gabba, despite the fact it's completely serviceable as it is. Like,
it's been on the inside.
No, it's fair. But it's like, I hate any time the Olympics goes somewhere, because it's like FIFA. They kind of just, like, bankrupt whatever nation they go to for, like, that term and then disappear. And people fight to have the honor of being bankrupted.
Look, the prestige of the Olympics is a thing.
Yeah.
Whether or not, how viable it is for the community, that's not the point. The point is that you got to host the Olympics. The thing that confuses the shit out of me is down heading toward the Gold Coast, there's that fucking Commonwealth Games facility.
Yeah.
Why the fuck are we not just building out there?
Pretty much. Like,
why tear down a stadium in the middle of Wollongabba, one of the biggest arterial points into the CBD?
Yeah.
You're just gonna make it grinds to a halt if there's a football game on.
Yeah.
You know, the thing it's designed for.
It's just very dumb.
And you want to run the fucking Olympics? No, that's a dumb idea. That's stupid.
It's very idiotic. I don't like it. Also, why do it in Brisbane? Like, I know we have, like, some decent infrastructure, but you could have put it somewhere like Cairns, which has the open area and could use the development because it already has an international airport.
They usually happen near big cities because, again, it's the prestige thing.
Yeah.
But it's simply like, why in the middle of Brisbane?
Yeah.
Like, when we had, I think way back when we had, was it the Olympics we had? The one where they built Epping?
I think was that the Commonwealth?
Commonwealth game.
Maybe.
It was one of them. We had one of the big events. And they basically the suburb existed, but they basically built it out into a real suburb to do that event. Like, why the fuck aren't we just doing that again?
Yeah.
Why are you screwing up the CBD? Why not just go out to some dude with, like, 18 acres and go... No, not 18 acres, like 50 acres. And just go, look, man, we'll buy the whole lot right now, cash in hand, get out, and we'll build our fucking Olympic field here.
Yeah. Be great. But, no, they want that prestige, which isn't working out too well for fucking Paris right now. They're copping a lot of shit.
I mean, we already talked about that last week.
Yeah.
It really hasn't calmed down.
Look, if you drop the ball with the Olympics, people fucking remember.
Yeah.
Like, it's bad.
Yeah. And given that I can't think of an Olympics that's dropped the ball quite like Paris,
At least not with this level of coverage. That's the other issue. Every time the Olympics happens, 4 years has gone by, which means communication technology has improved. And you're getting... That's why the news cycle sucks. It's always this constant bullshit, because there's just so much information now. Same thing with the Olympics. Anything happens at the Athlete Village, it makes the news now.
Well, that's because every one of those guys then tweets or
Yeah.
TikToks or whatever's it out.
Pretty much.
It almost feels like a distant comparison, but it almost feels like when TV was first able to go to a war zone, like Vietnam. Before that, war wasn't really televised, and now everything is televised there. Everything has an aspect of media. Of how good is this? But you're showing all the shit. Like, you're showing the trenches. You're showing the bullets flying. It just comes across as dirtier than any previous games. Any other previous games could have been worse, but it wasn't shown to this scale.
No.
Most definitely. Like, everything is, like, being scrutinized under a microscope for any issues. Because, you know, if you didn't get the Olympic bid, you want to fuck over the person who did.
Well, I don't even think it's that. Like, enough of their stuff has been, like, own fails. It's not necessarily people being like, oh, I'm going to find the shitty thing to say. It's
just
stuff
out
like
there.
not offering good food for your athletes.
Yeah.
Setting them up in accommodations that aren't very good. Like, they did that to themselves.
Oh, definitely.
It's not like someone walked in and went, I'm going to complain about this bed that's quite nice, but kind of sucks.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's made of cardboard and a lump of foam, and it's hard and uncomfortable. Yeah, everyone would agree with you on that.
Definitely. I do kind of feel bad for Paris or France in one respect, is the fact that for so long they were always put forward as the romantic destination. Paris is a beautiful city, everyone's like really nice. No, the people in Paris apparently are massive dicks. They don't like anyone who isn't French. And the place is dirty as fuck. For years.
I believe Dan pointed out the best last week. It's basically a painted turd.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
It's shiny on the outside, but that's it.
for at least 15 or so years, there have been what's the best word for it? Stations for Japanese tourists to essentially go and decompress, because they arrive in Paris and they can't maintain the things. Like, oh, wait, no, this is meant to be beautiful and amazing, but it's bad. Everyone's mean to me. There's garbage everywhere. And they freak out. It's like a culture shock for them. So they had to set up specific locations for them to go and just chill out in and just, you know, not be assaulted by Paris. I just can't remember what they call them. It's a weird word.
Planes home. Yeah, I don't know. There's something that needs to be done. Just the whole culture of the Olympics needs to change. Like, even when it was in Sydney, it just. I remember we were in Sydney. I was a kid. We went and watched the boxing, and we went and bought some scalp tickets because no way in fuck were we paying the price so they were asking at the gates.
Oh god, no.
And I remember walking past a bloke selling tickets, and we're about to walk up to the gate, and Dad goes, I don't want to give these assholes my money. I'd rather give that bloke my money. So Dad went back and specifically bought shittier tickets from the guy who was scalping, because fuck those guys.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, I don't know.
I
don't particularly enjoy the Olympics myself.
Yeah, we took a journey on this one. We started off talking.
I ain't stopping that journey either. So I was trying to look up like what these decompression locations you were talking about, and there's an actual term for the culture shock that is going to Paris, and it's called Paris syndrome.
Yeah, there's an actual syndrome named after it. I forgot about that. But yeah, it's because films and media have romanticized the city for so long. Everyone has that view. When they turn up, it's really bad. And because of all the social media nowadays, their tourism has dropped because people have realized it's not the romantic city everyone thinks it is. So the Olympics was really to try and get that tourism back, and it's not worked.
No, it is not.
They prove they can't look after the influx of tourists because a lot of people are being attacked and robbed.
I'm going to be curious for like the month after the Olympics, like after everyone has seen the sheen come off the turd, to see what impact that'll have.
Oh,
that'll be interesting.
It's going to be a very fun time for France.
But you're right, we did get pretty far off topic there.
We did.
We, get back onto the topic list?
Quite possibly.
Yeah. Back to topic. Musk is an idiot. We don't like him.
Well, again, how involved it's backed by Musk.
Yeah, it's something he's associated with.
How much control he has is kind of, I'm not going to lie, it's kind of a baity title to the article.
It is, yeah.
Because it's not like Musk directly went, yes, make this site.
Yeah.
But it is heavily backed by him, so it's like...
He's sunk some money into it, which probably means he's at least involved in some of the decisions.
Well, given the fact that we're seeing more, like, the mask is well and truly fallen off Musk, and he cannot get it back on.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh no, I'm sorry, I'm really a good guy, and I backed these guys, and they did something wrong, woe is me. No, it feels more like, yeah, you probably backed them because they do shady stuff.
Oh, yeah. No, the thing is, like, he has... in recent times, like, he's cozied up to Trump. His tongue is lodged firmly up Trump's ass. It's just, I don't like the way that's heading, because he has a lot of money and a lot of influence, and people in the US still think he's a genius.
Don't know why.
I have no idea. It's the same reason they always thought Steve Jobs was a genius. It was marketing. Steve Jobs, like, moseyed into Apple, bought shit out, and then fucked things up, got fired, came back, and, successfully marketed.
That's kind of...
It's very, very simple.
That's a very simplistic look on what Jobs did while he was there. He did more than that.
Oh, definitely. But same with Elon Musk. I'm sure he made some very good decisions in the beginning of Tesla. But the second he got his money, he went a bit...
His decision was, I bought it and that's it.
Yeah.
I bought it, and if you don't want to advertise, go and get fucked. Why is nobody advertising here? I'm going to sue you for not advertising.
Although there's some great things that pop up online. One of my favorites was an old interview with Elon Musk, which was, why are you putting the patent out for Tesla to the world? Like, oh, if the boat is sinking, I don't hoard the patent for a new kind of bucket. But it's exactly what he kind of does. Like,
it's less that he does that, and more that it's like, cool, you gave me the patent for the bucket. Why has it got holes in it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because to fix the holes will cost you.
You have to pay us to use the other 20% of the bucket.
Ah, the EA model. I get it now.
Yes. The walls of the bucket are free. It's the base that will cost.
So, Logitech's trying to get the idea of a forever mouse. That's a mouse with a subscription off the ground.
This is the dumbest thing I've heard in a while, and we were just talking about Elon Musk. Like, it's fucking stupid, because... what is the thing for it? It's meant to be...
So the basic idea is that you pay a subscription. They haven't said anything about cost.
Yeah.
Other than that they assume that the initial buy-in will probably be somewhere around $200 for an enthusiast-level mouse.
Fuck off.
The idea, the theoretics there is that it would be a very robust mouse that would have a long life, and thusly only, like, serious users or enthusiasts would want it with a subscription. So, you're already dealing with the premium crowd, so charge premium prices. But that's it. And they're not even saying that that's how much they'll charge. But, like, that was a number that got thrown out.
So if I stop paying the subscription, are they just going to brick the mouse?
Kinda. So, basically, to utilize the mouse, you would have to then, of course, have some kind of companion application that your subscription will continue to get updates through. How you update a fucking mouse, I don't know.
That would just be drivers, which my computer already does.
I mean, yeah. Well, yeah. I don't know because
I don't know who this
I'm
is
trying to
aimed at.
figure out what you actually get out of this subscription.
So,
what is the service you receive for that monthly cost?
Again, I'm not done. So hold on a second.
Okay,
we're just too angry.
And from what I can understand, and the particular article's a little bit vague on it. It seems that they want to set that they would be like if you broke your left click stopped working.
Yeah,
they would send you the parts for you to be able to fix it yourself.
So it's a modular mouse.
Yeah, which is probably also part of why they're like, we're going to charge $200 for it, because you got to be able to pull it apart and replace things.
I don't like this. It's getting bad.
It's basically pay us a subscription, and if anything goes wrong, you're our service team.
Yeah.
Which I can already fucking do.
You pay us for you to fix your product.
I don't think any gamer would ever pick this up for a few reasons. One, I'm guaranteeing whatever application they put on that can brick your mouse is going to be buggy as fuck, but also it's going to cause at least a small amount of lag, which most people probably won't realize. Like, they'll just keep going.
I honestly don't think it would be that bad even for gamers.
Maybe, but I don't trust them.
It's 200. What do they say? 200 something bucks for the mouse.
That's what they threw out. That's not
That's
the price.
just as an example cost. Okay.
Yeah.
So, any other Logitech mouse, what do they currently cost? Because I'm pretty certain there's some out there that are well over. Like in Australia, there's like over $250 for one of their mice.
Yeah.
I think the 905 is like $300.
I could not tell you off the top of my head. I would have to look it up.
We shall go to the authority. JB Hi-Fi.
Assuming you want cheap stuff, yeah.
Always.
Generally,
It's good. Logitech. I mean, you can get like somewhat okay.
you can get their bare bones, like
$150.
their essentials kit, whatever it is, for like $30. There it is. It's a
Yeah.
Sort by highest price to lowest. Of course, it's Razer who tops the charts at $319.
Yeah, but that's Razer.
Yeah, the most expensive Logitech is the G Pro X Superlight for $300. And the Logitech G502 plus wireless RGB gaming mouse. Basically, it's just colorful for $299. Like, yeah, you can get mice for more.
Oh yeah,
sure,
and,
but...
there's way more expensive mice.
Of course you can.
Definitely.
But like, I'm assuming that $200 is American dollars, so you're going to be looking at about that cost in Australia, around $300.
Probably close to $350 dues.
For the failure, they either need to make that mouse with a high failure rate to make the subscription worth it, or how often does your mouse fail?
I'm pretty sure I'm still using the same
doesn't...
mouse from like 4 years ago, and it hasn't given me any issues.
Exactly. So why the fuck would you keep paying every month?
Yeah.
I think the only reason I upgraded my last mouse was because the company that made it literally bought out a better version of it, and I just wanted the better version.
Yeah.
I still have it's actually the one I used to interact with my server.
Nice.
Connected to that. Is my old mouse, because it still works. It's still perfectly fine. I just wanted the new version of it.
Yeah. The only reason I'd be getting a different mouse is for a slightly longer cord and with more like side buttons I can macro things to. That's the only thing I care.
May I suggest a dual blader?
Nice. I'll give it a look.
What's it? One, like, I don't use half of these fucking buttons, but it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
I've only got 2 additional buttons on mine, so, and one of them I swear never fucking works. When I try and macro shit to it, never works.
I've mostly bought it because it has these little wing buttons at the tip of the mouse clickers.
Ah.
So instead of having to like find a button somewhere else, I can just slide my left or right index or middle finger to the left or right to hit like little buttons, and I usually map things like flashlights to them. In video games, so they're really easy to just flick on and off.
That's fair.
But so for the subscription, like, be able to get parts to repair it, it needs to fail regularly enough that subscription is worth it.
Yeah. Well,
or it's
even then,
highly customizable.
I'm guaranteeing this is going to be a bit like insurance company, where it's like, oh, my mouse has failed. Like, are you sure it's failed? It's probably just you. I think you broke it intentionally, which means you're not covered.
Or you replace your left clicker, but you put it in slightly off skew and you bent a pin. So now you have to replace the whole unit, and we don't cover that.
Yeah.
Oh, I guarantee you'd only ever get like one part out of them.
Oh yeah,
Definitely.
If you break that part, well, you're paying this time now, buddy.
I mean,
it's only one free.
It's probably why they want you to be the one to install it, because most people are going to have issues trying to install something, especially it's fiddly, like a fucking mouse is. Like, that's...
Assuming
sneaky.
they don't make it annoying to take apart.
Yeah.
but even like $200 to buy the mouse, say, throwing a number out there, like the subscription's $20 a month. That's 10 months, and you've paid for a mouse.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Just buy a mouse.
Yeah,
What
fucking
happens-
oath.
What happens when like better technology or better versions come out? They're going to ship me a new mouse to replace the old one? Like, that would
Well,
be good.
again, we don't know any of the details. They've
Yeah.
literally just started floating the idea. It could be like phone plans, where when the next one comes out, you just get to upgrade to it.
Yeah. I mean,
But we don't know. The idea of a mouse subscription, though, is just so
F-
patently absurd for a
oh,
product like that.
absolutely. Like, this has to be shut down on principle. Like, if we let them do this, and if it in any way makes them money,
Oh, it wouldn't end here.
yeah, we'd be fucked. Next would be keyboards, and then it'll be
Oh, well,
monitors.
no. In this article, they talk about how they really want to monetize your keyboard and mouse setup.
You have to pay per
So,
click.
actually, no, this could work in our favor, because if the subscription includes running the RGB, if I don't pay the subscription, I don't have fucking RGB, and I would not pay a subscription to not have RGB.
You wouldn't have any
Happily.
function of the mouse at all, because the mouse to even utilize a subscription like this would need its own software, and if you're
Yeah.
not running that software and it validates a valid subscription, your mouse doesn't work.
Pretty much, it would brick the
Hopefully, I'll
mouse.
find third-party software.
Yeah.
That would be the best bit. Like, I guarantee you, like 2 months in, someone's jailbreaking their fucking
Oh,
mouse.
fucking knows.
We'd have pirated mice. It would be amazing. Be perfect.
Not that I think this will take off. Like,
No.
Look,
it's not a space that's asking for it.
no one's
No.
going to want this. Like, no one's asking for this, and no one's
This-
going to do it.
It's not even good for like corporate, because
Yeah.
corporate wants like $10 laser mice, not $200 laser mice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and this shouldn't be taken out behind the shed and shot. This should be marched out this like city square in front of everyone, and have
with
its
the
face
guillotine.
carved
Just-
off.
Publicly, just like, no,
Yeah,
this is not
as
happening.
violently as possible.
This needs to be a stay in your fucking lane moment for the industry. It's like, no, you don't get to do that. We yelled at cars for trying to do this. Why do you think we wouldn't be yelling at you? Like,
Well, I mean,
it's-
yelling hasn't worked on Ubisoft.
oh, yelling never works in Ubisoft. I'm pretty sure they're
Ubisoft is deaf.
deaf. Yeah.
They
Yes,
are
they-
tone deaf. They are culturally deaf. They are community-based deaf.
So they recently put out that you're going to require a 3060 Ti running your whatever version of DLSS or FSR on your system to run Star Wars Outlaws at 1080p. You're going to need to upscale from 720p, and that'll only get you 60 FPS. That's not even rock solid FPS. That's just if you want to get up to 60.
The more we hear about this game, the worse it's sounding.
Yeah, it really sounds more and more like some kind of moon novel.
It really does. Like, is this actually happening? Is this just Jabberwocky all over again? Like, just... Oh, yeah, no, it's definitely a thing.
Jabberwocky.
Jabberwocky. But I was hyped for this, and now I'm angry about it. And I don't like that turnaround. I have whiplash from it. I was so excited 1 week, and now I'm angry.
It looks so good when that first trailer came out. It's like, oh my god, Ubisoft has turned it around. Like, this is fucking amazing. And then details started coming out. It's like, no, that was just Ubisoft trying to put up a screen. It's done a very Ubisoft thing here.
Yeah. So basically what they had done for that trailer was string together 12 3080s to get it to run at 60
Oh, yeah.
frames solidly.
Yeah.
And then, showed the world this. It's just, it's like...
I mean, they probably rendered that video on the whatever theoretical machine they think people have.
Yeah.
I understand that as gamers, we generally have rather, like, enthusiast level machines.
Yeah.
But, like, that's ridiculous.
But we also,
Yeah.
we're very sporadic about it. I find, like, most gamers will buy into a high-level PC and then ride that thing till it's dead.
Oh, yeah.
And then they update. Because that's what I do. It's what a bunch of our friends do. You ride it into the dust to get your money's worth out of it, and then you upgrade.
Yeah.
So by the time you upgrade, you're pretty far behind. So new games can't run. That's why half the time you have to upgrade. That's why we.
I think
like, that-
I think they
that
had
was
like 4090s in like a magazine, and as that video was like rendering, they were racking them out like shotgun shells. Like, chack, they loaded the next one in. As soon as that started to burn it, they've loaded another one in, and it's daisy chained 4090s just to get the trailer. And now there's like, oh, you need something else to run the game.
Because what
like-
was the other controversy that happened with it recently? It's like just the sheer amount. There's a bunch of microtransactions which we knew was going to happen.
So, like, the general list of things that people don't like about it is that it's utilizing Ubisoft's launcher.
Yeah.
Not surprising, it's a Ubisoft game.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, like, get over it, guys. This is old news at this point.
We knew it was happening.
It is using Denuvo, which is, like, no one likes Denuvo.
Denuvo doesn't like Denuvo.
Denuvo lags Denuvo.
They were
So
paying
that's
a whole
their-
heap of influencers to say nice things.
Yeah, true.
They were buying them plane trips and trips to Disneyland and
Yeah.
fun little, here's a gift. Now review our game.
This isn't a buy-off at all. It's just a
I mean,
friendly...
that's an open secret.
Yeah, it's been happening for years, but...
They're utilizing another layer of DRM protection called VM Protect. It will...
lag things further.
I mean, people are grumpy that you're going to need the internet to install the game, but again, like, come on, guys, that's pretty standard at this point. Like,
Yeah. Like
I understand, like, I would like to buy discs and have the discs have content on them, not Steam installers, but, like, we're in a post-disc world, I'm sorry.
Discs can't really hold the amount of information we need for modern games.
I mean, what, the Modern Warfare 3, when it dropped on Game Pass, was still 231 gig.
Yeah.
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 And, what, 122 gig gets me all of Red Dead Redemption 2.
I
so-
swear, though, like, that game has to be, like, 90% bloatware just to try and make sure you can't have any other game on your system.
I mean, like, I was considering until I saw that and went, I'd have to delete stuff, and I'm not doing that, so...
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's got a season pass for a single-player game.
Why? Like, that
It's...
season passes in general are fucking bad.
The problem I
But for
find
a
with
single player game,
I don't hate the concept. People abuse it, though.
They do.
Again, like, if FromSoft goes, we have a season pass for our next game, I'm like, sure, whatever, money. Because I know I'm going to get my money's worth out of that season pass.
Yeah.
The problem is, so many companies have now abused it, it's a bad thing.
It's left a very sour taste in everyone's mouth.
Particularly Ubisoft. So,
Yeah.
I'm less concerned that there's a season pass and I'm more that Ubisoft is doing a season pass.
Yeah. Which means we're not getting anything, we're just going to be paying extra to sit there and hope.
Kinda, yeah.
even just a season pass in a single player game, a multiplayer game, sure, you're gonna play with your friends, you'll unlock things while you're playing multiplayer games. Awesome.
Yeah.
A single player game, just give me the fucking content. I'm either gonna play the game or
Give me
I'm
the
gonna play it for a little
DLC,
bit and then get bored.
Like, the only reason you get it would be for DLC, in my opinion. Like,
In which
Well,
case,
yeah,
give me
that's what-
access to the DLC. I don't have to unlock the shit
Yeah.
after, like...
Well, no, you're thinking about Battle Pass, not a season pass.
yeah, fuck. That's right.
well,
too many passes
considering most
now.
season passes are fucking battle passes now.
Yeah, but it is a different thing.
Yeah.
Season pass is your set of DLC content that you're going to get over a period of time. You're going to get them.
Yeah.
Whereas a battle
this is
pass, you have to
Ubisoft,
unlock
so
them.
you're going to get the equivalent of what they've done for the last however many fucking Far Cry games, where each of them doesn't actually add anything to the fucking game. It's just a tag-on piece of shit that has a reference to a previous game or another character that someone else might have liked.
Yeah.
But
It'll be
that's
add nothing to the game.
That's my point. I don't have as many problems with season passes. I have problems with Ubisoft's season passes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have routinely been absolute garbage.
They really have.
So, and like the other stuff that I've seen about ranting about this game is kind of like personal opinion. Like some people don't like the character designs or the way the gameplay looks. I mean, fuck off, that robot fucks.
That is the only thing we can still maintain about this game. That robot definitely fucks.
Yeah. So, you know, that's sort of getting into more like personal opinion stuff. But yeah, all that other stuff still like, that's all not great.
Yeah.
It's not good stuff. And of course, they're locking the we have the exclusive Jabba the Hutt mission. If you pay this extra money,
of course, if you pay the extra money to see the giant worm.
It's just like, no, we're not doing that. Shut up, stop, just fucking stop.
So you've got a named character to look at. Go away, fuck off.
Basically, it's got unrealistic expectations for your system to be able to even run it at 60. So we're not even like 4K 60 or with ray tracing. This is just, do you want to play this fucking game and approach 60, not stable 60?
Yeah, this is maybe hit 60 when you're standing still. You've
got to run it with all of the bells and whistles turned on that help do frame generation and upscale from 720 up to 1080.
I know we say it a lot, but by God, the industry has forgotten that QA exists.
I mean, this isn't even a QA thing. This is a pure, we're not bothering to optimize and do the fucking legwork.
Pretty much. It's like, optimization is gone. It doesn't exist anymore. It's like, we made this giant piece of shit. We don't need to compress it down or optimize it. You're going to buy it anyway. It's like, guys, stop it, please.
As I was saying, for fucking Jedi Survivor is getting an optimization pass this week for PC.
Yeah. Which is fucking weird.
Consoles are getting a 4K update. PC's getting an optimization pass after, if you're going to play it, you've already fucking played it.
Yeah. How many months has it been since it came out? Like 8?
Ages.
Been over almost a year now,
I'm pretty sure that the optimization pass is just we were doing work on it for the consoles, so fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if they weren't already doing the 4K update for the console versions, they wouldn't give out this smoothing patch.
Yeah.
It wouldn't exist.
Pretty much.
So, the developer for Rust is pretty shitty with Unity and really, really wants to hurry up and get his own game engine off the ground.
Look, I'm not surprised that he's shitty at Unity. Everyone seems to be shitty at Unity.
Apparently, according to him, so Rust is run on Unity, and he absolutely hates the fact that he has to pay for his subscription to Unity, a developer fee, and then spend half his time getting his dev team to fix Unity.
Yeah.
So that it actually does the things they needed to.
It actually does the things that they sold it to them saying it would do.
And given the fact that this is the same guy who created Gary's mod, oddly enough, Gary of the same name, he really wants to start his own game engine because one of the things he hated about Gary's mod is that people were really creative with it and create these wonderful games, but if they wanted to do anything with them, they had to then immediately scrap it off Gary's mod, and then try and start building it in something like Unity.
Pretty much.
So he really wants his game engine off the ground so he can essentially create Gary's mod 2.
Electric Boogaloo. I really
pretty much. But instead of you having to, scrap it, start with a new engine, you could spin it off and use the engine to flesh it out into a full game. Or he suggested some sort of internal to get Gary's mod 2 monetization system, sort of a Roblox-esque thing.
Yeah.
But, that's all pie in the sky. He wants to
long-term kind of thing, yeah.
But yeah, he's pretty fucking sick of Unity and all their bullshit, and that, he really believes that another engine needs to step into that, low-end dev market
really
and not just be Unity.
Unity hasn't been doing too well of late.
Well, ever since they tried to do that, you're gonna make you pay for every install.
No. Yeah. I'm going to retroactively implement this. Go away. Fuck off. But
no.
Honestly,
that's how most people to them.
Pretty much. I'm surprised that people are still using it at all, but it is the entry-level kind of thing.
Unfortunately, it's got a lot of compatibility across things like mobile.
Yeah.
So you can build something in Unity and then have a really flexible code base to just take to other places. Which is kind of what's impeded a lot of other groups who, when that whole thing happened back then, a lot of other engine creators were like, hey, we could take that spot, but none of them had quite the broad compatibility that Unity did.
Absolutely.
A lot of them had a good bit, and they're not as developed. Unity's been around for years. I think Unity was around when we were in uni.
Yeah, it came out when we were still running around Uni, I'm pretty sure, because I remember it was a big thing
when did Unity come out?
It's It's gotta be
like,
at least like
other
2008-ish.
I haven't really looked at other engines like Godot. Actually, no, sorry. I have installed the base for Godot, so we met in to have a look at it. But yeah, I'd never really gotten around to them. There are other options out there.
Because we didn't use Unity back
2005. It came out like just as we were going into uni.
Yeah, fair. It hadn't taken off too much by then, because I don't think they really taught us much about it.
No, I remember like hearing about it though when we were at uni.
Yeah.
Whispers of this thing called Unity.
Yeah.
But like back then, I mean, like that university we went to was all about using Macromedia stuff.
Pretty much. But yeah, no, I'm not surprised people are shitty at Unity. It seems to be the running thing for them. I kind of hope that he can get a Gary's Mod 2 engine running, or just Gary's
Well, he's
engine.
already been working on it. It's called SN Box.
Ooh, okay.
And he's been developing it for years now. He's just got to get to like the final hurdle so that he can be like, and yeet Unity.
Yeah.
And implement this new engine that can do that. It's a big project because he's basically trying to create the Source engine.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I
that's
hope
a big
he does
ass.
it. I hope he can get it done. Because if we can chuff off Unity, I'd be happy, because it runs like a piece of shit half the time. Yes, it crosses all the platforms, but it's like you cross all the platforms, but in a very shitty way.
The thing about Unity is you have to massage Unity into doing what you need it to.
Yeah.
Which, back in the day, was something you used to have to do a lot. The Logitech engine was a big engine. If you remember, that was the one that powered AVP.
Yeah.
Specifically AVP 2.
That was a good game.
Great game. I'm so annoyed it's stuck in digital rights hell and we can't get a digital re-release of it. It's an amazing game. Easily the best Alien vs. Predator game they ever made.
Definitely.
But like that ran on Logitech, and it was well known that you had to kind of work around the limitations of Logitech to get the most out of it. You kind of had to massage it into place. In this day and age where you've got things like Unreal and id and all that just wandering around with these massively fully featured engines, the idea that you have to spend half your dev time massaging it to make it do what you need it to feels absurd. Especially with Unity's pitch that it's the low-end developer. Like, if you're like Blizzard or something with a bajillion developers under your belt that you can just throw problems at. Yeah, okay, it's fine. But, like, you're not... But, like, the kind of companies like that are getting pitched to Unreal, not Unity.
Yeah.
I really hope he can get it done, and hopefully within the next few years get...
Well, like I said, he is developing it, he's doing what he can. Hopefully he'll get it out sooner than later.
Hopefully.
So, we have a slight update on the Stop Killing Games stuff.
Yay!
Which also comes with with a little bit of actual interesting stuff that I found out recently. So, apparently it's done incredibly well in Europe.
Yep.
They've gotten a lot of signatures on the petition. So it might actually get somewhere to actually at least in front of someone.
Which is good. I like this.
Yeah, we're all happy about that. But, of course, I've not heard anything from devs. Which is always interesting, because when you look at the Stop Killing Games thing from a consumer perspective, which we did, because we're consumers, it sounds exactly the way it's written, like, yes, that's exactly what we want. That stop taking our games away from us. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
So, Thor of Pirate Software posted up 2 videos, and I would highly suggest you go have a look at them for his full opinion on it, because I'm going to abbreviate it probably badly here.
Yeah.
But I will put them in the show notes. They're actually an interesting watch, which is a dev's perspective on the whole thing. And he points out how particularly vague the language is, and how the whole thing, while referring to things where, like, a call home system is required to run a single-player game, he's completely in agreement that, that's bullshit, that's, devs trying to slide stuff past the player.
Yeah. And
that's not okay. We should be definitely calling that sort of stuff out. But with the vague language that the Stop Killing Games thing has, it does open up for the abuse of developers, particularly for people who make always online products.
Yeah.
MMOs and the such.
Makes
And-
sense.
Not even just live service as well. They're meant to
Yeah.
be always
Yeah.
online. So
True.
there is a broad scope of games out there for it.
Yeah, and his argument is basically, and again, I'm abbreviating the shit out of it. Please go watch the videos. Is that the language is too vague? It's not targeting anything, and that it's going to catch all this live service stuff up along with it.
Yeah.
Now, you may not like live service games, but some of them are quite fun. I mean, I freely admit I played a lot of Warframe. I think we've all played at least one MMO.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
So you would lose all of that under this sort of thing because it would be very easy for someone to abuse a developer. One of the big examples it gives is you run an MMO and you don't allow monetization within your server. I want to monetize a server for your game. So what I do is I wait until you're low on, you're getting toward the back half of your life cycle, at which point I start throwing bots at your game, I start fucking with your community, I start downloading the game on storefronts. I basically kill it.
Yeah.
At which point your studio goes insolvent, and then you have to put out a patch, or the server binaries, so that that game can live on. I then take those binaries, set up my own server, and monetize it.
Yeah.
I have now monetized your game without your permission, because I now have all of the things, and you're dead.
But
And
you've
you
also
did all the work.
But you've also now got a title that you've just spent months running into the ground and people don't want to play.
To a point, yeah. I would...
If you've got a dedicated community and you think you can probably get them over, it's not impossible for you to do.
No.
But still, like,
But
for
you're
you,
also
that's
going to be
something-
like cutting off your own nose to
But
spite
like
your
that's
face.
just an example. That's not
Absolutely.
necessarily like yeah, okay. But you take something like WoW and go, it's a $20 a month subscription. Hey man, WoW just bit a bullet and my
Yeah.
server's now $10.
Yeah.
It's now cheaper, so all you guys who liked it, hey man, it's still live, it's over here though.
Yeah.
And
But I didn't make WoW.
Yeah, and you just market it the same way the old vanilla servers for WoW used to. It's like, oh no, we went back before it was shit. Come join like the heyday version of it. So
But
you-
like it's just an example,
Yeah.
not necessarily what would happen, but it's
Oh,
a
yeah.
way it could be abused that allows you, as someone who did none of the work, didn't work for the company, could monetize someone else's product
yeah.
very easily
Oh, definitely.
by forcing them to give you the stuff that makes it run.
Yeah, but in also like doing that, you're also monetizing a product that they don't want to monetize anymore because they're
Well,
killing
it's
it.
more the fact that
It's
can't.
not your decision.
No, it isn't. But if you've got the opportunity, it's like anything out there. If you should have to, like, there should be a way to buy the rights to produce your own server for it. Whether you're giving them buying a license from them, some other way that you can do, like, can still keep these games alive.
Completely agree, but that's not in the scope of what.
No,
Software
there isn't,
Games
and
is
it's
trying to
something
do.
that should be within that scope.
Yeah, this is why when I initially started watching the video, I was like, I don't know if I've got to agree with him on this. He seems a little out of left field. But as he gave like good examples to back up like what he was saying,
Yeah,
it was like, oh, actually, he makes a lot of sense from a dev's perspective
yeah,
on how this needs to be tightened up.
Yeah.
I still believe in what Accursed Farms is doing because I've had games taken away from me. I've had stuff just out of nowhere, and I don't know what's going on. People, the language around purchasing is so bad.
It is, yeah.
Particularly again with MMOs, people buy an MMO. You don't. You buy access.
Yeah.
And I don't think as many people would be as comfortable if it said you're spending $100 to access this. I think that's why a lot of MMOs hid behind the word subscription,
Pretty much.
yeah.
because it made it feel transitory instead of, oh yes, you're not buying this WoW expansion, you're subscribing to
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, like
Like, the way
Steam
I-
isn't a game store; it's a license store. Like you're
yeah.
buying something you can use for now.
Yeah.
I mean, the way I see it with the petition, it's less about using the petition as the rule of thumb and more of, all right, we have shown there is a thing here. You as governments and organizations now need to discuss this and come to an agreement. It's to bring it to their attention. And I do definitely agree it's very weirdly vague and worded. And that does need to be tightened up.
Well, that's the thing. Like, if you go to a bunch of people who don't really understand an industry and you give them a vague outline, that's not super helpful.
Pretty much.
Because they might, pull a trigger on it and set a precedent that is actually not helpful to the industry. Again, I believe in what Ross is doing.
Yeah, definitely.
And, I mean, I signed the Stop Killing AIM petition when it was in Australia. I do believe in what's happening. But I also, now that I have an understanding from a dev and someone who has more information than I do on the back end and can look at it from a developer's perspective instead of a consumer, that there's that it probably should have been tighter in the way it's written.
Absolutely. Like, there's definitely improvements that can be made, but
I mean, I hope something like some traction happens and someone seriously starts looking at it. But yeah, there's definitely room that even this thing could be better set up so that consumers and devs
gain something.
Get a win instead of just consumers.
We've seen it time and time again. If there is room for fuckery, people will cause fuckery.
Yes.
Whether for profit or for fun. Like, some people just like watching the world burn.
100%.
So, as tight as we can make it would be great.
Yeah. So, like, if this just gets some politicians to go and ask the questions, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But hopefully an outcome that's good for everyone, both sides of the division, get positive outcome.
Yeah, because we don't want to fuck over developers. They give us the thing we want. Like,
and I don't hate live service games in of themselves. I still play Warframe.
Yeah. We still play Helldivers like occasionally. Like,
yes.
Live service can be done well, and games can be done in a very good way. The problem is when certain developers just do shady shit. Like,
well, yeah, live service as a word is poo-poo. You can't say that you're a live service thing anymore.
Pretty much.
But it's a type of game, not this specific thing.
Yeah.
But people like to associate the word with primarily negative connotations.
Yeah. A lot of what Ubisoft does.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the problem is, like, a lot of it happens to do with a lot of how memory works for humans. We can remember bad things so much better than we can remember good things. Because we are hardwired by evolution to learn the lessons from the bad thing. So they stick in our head. That's why you always think your week's been shit towards the end of it, because all you remember is the bad stuff. There's probably been plenty of nice or mundane things, but your brain has stored away the bad stuff so you can learn from it. And that gets associated with certain things. And in this case, for games, live service. We've been burnt so many times that it's the connotation in our head of live service bad.
You also got a bit of a out of sight, out of mind. Like, what was the last thing you experienced that utilized the word live service? Probably something you didn't like.
Pretty much.
So, despite the fact that, like, again, I don't think of Warframe as a live service game. I just think of it as Warframe. Whereas I look at Ubisoft and I go, good, dude, get this live service garbage out of my game.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that the Ubisoft stuff is probably less egregious than the Warframe stuff, but hey, I have a positive association with one and a negative with the other.
Yeah.
So when I see the negative one, I'm like, that's live service, and that's what I remember.
It's also why I'm pretty sure Ubisoft and other big companies are never going to get back to their heyday reputations, because they're fighting an uphill battle of shit they've done in the past, and no amount of good can ever undo it.
Why would Ubisoft want to go back? They're a quadruple A developer now.
God damn.
Oh, God. Did they ever actually end up doing that? Like, noting it down somewhere, or is it just a thing they were yelling about?
No, it's a thing. They stated that Black Flag was no longer a AAA game, it was quadruple A. They said that in an interview.
Yeah. But
that thing bombed hard.
Oh, it did.
It was always going to fucking bomb hard.
Look, the pop culture took that and immediately ran the opposite direction of what they wanted. It was like, ha! Quadruple A means bad now! And just ran off in the distance.
Yeah.
So well, I mean, when you... But, like, you decided that the game that everyone was telling you, the beta testers were telling you wasn't good, no one had high hopes for, it was completely not what any of the fan base asked for, and you went, this is the quadruple again.
Yeah.
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 If you'd at least... Like, I'm not saying that it's going to be good. I hope it will be, because I have nostalgia for it. Like, if you'd gone with the next Assassin's Creed game and gone, this is our quadruple A game, at least Assassin's Creed is a franchise with some clout that you can potentially swing around.
Yeah.
I think a lot of that clout went away after Valhalla, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Valhalla.
Whereas Skull and Bones was a new property that no one asked for, that you did instead of the pirate game everyone wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the one you were like, this is the quadruple A. No, you needed to shut the fuck up and let it do its thing, and let it cook, or let it die, and not fucking do that.
I think they had just... Because they've been hyping that game for so long, they just had to double down. Like, no, you're going to love this. You have to love this. My job depends on you loving this. This is... Yeah, no, we don't love this.
Why can I imagine some guy in some kind of Saw-esque trap just begging people to love it?
I would not be surprised when it comes to that company. Like, that's just their one marketing executive in a room. Please let me go.
But I'm imagining more like someone with like their hand in some kind of contraption that can slice off each finger. And it's like, look, man, it's got to get 100 likes in the next 15 minutes.
Oh, God.
You've got 4 fingers. How many A's is this game?
You've got 10 fingers, which means you have at least 10 days to make the money back for this game. Go.
I don't know why. Like, Ubisoft just feels like that. The way they have those horrible sales targets.
Yeah.
It's just like, what are you fucking
They
doing
feel
as a
like they were
company?
taken over by a Saturday morning supervillain.
So it is quite funny because it's almost like Ubisoft rolled around the corner on a little truck. Do you want to play a game? And the entire community went, fucking no.
Oh, God.
The entire community just went, nope.
Yeah.
Nope, don't want to play that bullshit. I'm out.
Nah, we're good.
I mean, like, I hope the next Assassin's Creed is good.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, they're finally doing Japan.
They're doing
The
that
one thing
that
we've been
wanted
asking
so
for
long.
since the start. But Ubisoft will shit the bed again.
Yeah,
Probably.
I am more than certain they will.
At
At this
this
point, I'm
point-
waiting for the second Ghost of Tsushima to get my Assassins in Japan vibe going.
It's... Unfortunately, it is more likely than not.
Yeah.
Just from their whole track record. It would be a rare instance if it wasn't shit. That's really fucking sad.
Look, we now have to temper our expectations when it comes to any game that comes from these big companies. Just because of how many times we've been burnt. Like, I watch trailers occasionally, or when we do our Might Play and we watch a trailer. If it's something from a big company, I have to go, okay, wait until it comes out, wait for the hype to die, get honest reviews from people that way.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm more
Wait for
hyped
actual players.
for Tactical Breach Wizards than I am for Star Wars Outlaws, and I'm a massive Star Wars fan.
Absolutely. I'm a huge Star Wars fan for that kind. I love the old Roger droids. Anytime I've played in any Star Wars like TTRPG, I have played a Roger droid. And the fact there is a X1, like one of their assassin droids, as a character, I'm like, keen. Fuck yes.
Yeah.
And even I'm now going, no, that's not enough to pull me in, guys. Bye. I'll go and run a Star Wars campaign to get it out of my system if I have to. I'm not playing this game now.
That's fair. That's fair.
But, disappointing.
Well, I mean, we're out past now, but do we want to hit that, like, last thing we had on the list?
Might as well.
Because it's kind of funny.
It is kind of funny.
So, Logan Paul suing CoffeeZilla.
Which is just the dumbest thing ever.
Pretty much.
And it's not even suing him, like, he's suing him for defamation, but not over the, what was the thing
So,
he did?
the original 3 videos that he did were over CryptoZoo.
CryptoZoo,
And how that's kind of a scam.
Yes, kind of.
Yes. Crypto was kind of a scam.
Yeah. But the thing he's suing him over is that Coffee has put out 2 other videos where he's basically gone, hey, Logan, you haven't actually paid your victims back yet. And that's what he's suing him over.
Specifically the word victim. Like,
I don't think he's actually said that.
it's mentioned in the thing for it, like the deposition. Basically,
Court filing.
the court filing. They don't like the fact that he used the word victims because it insinuates it was all a scam. It's like, I mean, yes, okay, to a point, but they're also victims of something. Like, they are still, technically, they are victims.
Yeah.
So, yeah. The other sad part of it is CoffeeZilla's insurance are just fucked, and they're not covering him for any of the legal fees. So that's annoying.
He's got a fan base big enough that he's asked, hey guys, we can kick in a buck,
Yeah, he's got a merch
he'll
drop
be fine.
going for it.
Also,
I'm honestly tempted to get the shirt, but...
Defamation, you have to have been defamed, which means you have to have lost money for being...
It also has to have been in a malicious manner.
You have to be willfully, ignorantly say something.
Mm-hmm.
In a completely separate lawsuit, Logan Paul has referenced CoffeeZilla as a quality person for information.
Yeah.
So that's
using him as
to be true.
evidence.
Or you have to use falsehoods to try and besmirch someone's character.
Yeah.
Logan Paul has admitted that these people are victims. He's stated that he was going to do restitutions to them. He just hasn't.
Yeah.
So none of those two things.
So none of it is defamation.
It's a slap suit.
Yeah, it really is.
And he's filed it in Texas, which has no anti-slap laws.
Pretty much. Like, everything about it reeks of slap suit.
He just wants him to shut up.
Pretty much. And
I'm sure his idea was, I'll grind you down with... I'm Logan Paul. I have piles of money. I can run this legal thing until you're ground down so hard you just shut up.
Yeah.
And then CoffeeZilla's just gone, yeah, but I have a fan base who'll give me the exact same amount of money to do that to you.
I have a fan base frothing at the mouth to watch you burn, and every YouTube lawyer is on my side here.
Yeah.
Like, at this point, Legal Eagle's already put out shit saying, he's gone through it as a legal person and going, yeah, so he's just a piece of shit. This is a slap suit. This is useless. This is just a tactic.
Yeah. It's just trying to silence Coffee. That's
yeah. So
which means Coffee's doing something correctly.
All it needs now is a whole mob of others to come through and make the same point. Because is he going to sue all of them?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the thing. Well, the other thing is, like, we're just waiting at this point for the firebombing for CoffeeZilla. Then you can join friendly Geordies in the corner of being terrified of the people you went against.
Yeah, but I think he's pissed off any bikies.
Yeah, that is true. Poor Jordan.
Alright, well, we're up past an hour, so I think we're done for the day.
Yay!
Y'all have a good one.
Bye.
See ya.